Hey lovelies, welcome back to my channel. So if you want to see how I achieved this lovely dress, please stay tuned and watch till the end of this video. Thank you. So I'm going to start off by drafting out my basic bodies, and I'm dividing my paper right here with the largest part of my body divided into four. In this case, it is the hip. So my hip circumference divided into four. So right here, I'm just imputing my bust span measurements. So I'm not really going to show you guys how I make my basic bodies unless I'm going to make a separate video that is like detailed on how I make my basic bodies. So right here, I'm just imputing my bust span measurement, which is also known as the dot line. In this case, mine is 3.5, which is the client I'm working with. Our bust span is 3.5, but if you don't have the bust span measurement, there is also a formula for that, and I'm going to impute it on the screen. So right here on my waistline, I'm just taking in my dart of 1.5, which is 0.75 on both sides. You can also take out 0.5 or 1 inch depending on what you're going for, but I prefer 0.75. So I'm just taking that out of both sides of the dart line. So right here, I'll be measuring out my waist circumference divided by 4 and adding the 1.5 inches I took out for the darts. But most times, because the dart inches is 1.5, your lines are going to look funny, but don't worry about it. So in this case, I just went straight down to my full length. I added 3 inches for my full length. So I just went straight down because my paper was already looking funny. Now I'm just doing my underbust tightening. For your underbust tightening, you just have to divide your underbust circumference by 4, and whatever you have left, you divide that into 2, and you give the largest number to the part going to the side and the smallest number to the part going to the center of the front. I don't know if you understand. I'm going to make a separate video on bustier and underbust tightening and all of that. So you give the largest number to the part going to the side, and you give the lowest number to the part going to the center. So I just connected my lines down, giving half an inch to the full length parts. So I came out half an inch at the end of the paper at the full length part. So I'm just going to take out my bust dart of 1.5 inches, and this is not the standard, guys. This is not the standard bust dart. So depending on the bust size you are working with, so my bust dart in this case is 1.5 inches, and that is what I just took out. So now I'm going up from my chest line by 1.5 inches. Depends, everybody with the way like they do their calculations, but first I'm going to divide my shoulder by 2 and connect the midline to my bust point line. After doing that, I'm going to go up from my chest line with 1.5 inches. You can choose to maintain the chest line, but I just wanted to go up with 1.5 inches. After that, I'm going to do my chest tightening of 1.5 inches, which is taking out 0.75 inches from both sides. It's just the same way as that. So after that, you are going to create whatever neckline you prefer. Me, I just wanted a basic sweetheart neckline, and I'm just going to connect from my side that to my armhole line just to create a beautiful curve, because it's just a basic posture. Then so yeah, I just moved over to my back pattern, and after completing my back pattern, we'll get back to the front one to complete it also. So after I'm done with the back pattern, I'll just go ahead to slash out from my underbust, because I don't want that to be at the remaining part. So I'm just going to slash out my underbust, and then I'll slash the dart line to connect my chest dart to see if they correspond. And if the lines at the top is not together, all you just have to do is use your marker to smoothen it out. After that, I'm just going to slash my paper so I can close my bust darts, and I'll take my ruler to blend out the line. It's also called truing the lines. I'll just blend that out. So from the underbust to my waistline and full length, I'm just going to cut out the darts because I don't want to be using a dart for this. And I'm going to use my paper tape to secure it in place. You remember I said I added 3 inches to from my waist length down, because I don't want my full length to be at the waistline. I wanted to give it sort of like a basque effect, which you see in the beginning of the video. So I'm just going to connect from my waistline down to that 3 inches at the front length to give it sort of like a basque effect. And I did not add these 3 inches to my back because I just wanted it to be at the front of my dress. So because we won't be needing the yoke for this dress, I'm just going to cut out straight from my chest line at the back, just to have a straight back. And note, I later went in 0.5 inches at the top dart, just because to give the back extra tightening. So I just went ahead to label everything out so I don't make any mistake, which is I'm writing side back at the part going to the side, center back at the zipper side, up, down, just so I don't make any mistake. So what you'll be needing for this dress is your wadding, your fabric, your stay, zip, thread, scissors, and your pattern papers. I'm using a Mikado silk for this particular dress. Sorry guys, I did not realize my phone was not recording the entire time, but I've gone ahead to cut out my pieces, which is 2 for the main fabric, 2 for the lining, and I've added stay. I'm going to sew that top part with 1/2 inch and sew both sides with 0.25 inch, just to turn everything. So I just ironed 2 layers of light wadding to the upper part, which is the front part at the bust side. So I just have a little bit of firmness there. And I'll also be sewing this off with 1/2 inch, and I'll sew the lining part separate and the part I'll be using as the main fabric separate. So I just measured out a long strip of fabric that will be pleating at the underbust of this dress. So all you need to do is join the sides with 0.25 just to have a clean edge, and you run a gather stitch, but for my case I just pleated it. I just hand pleated it while I was sewing. So to know the width of fabric you need, you just measure your underbust to, like, from your underbust to your top length, then add 1.5 inches or 2 inches. That will be enough. After that, I just use the sandwich method to add the part going from the underbust to the front length and add everything just to have a neat finishing. After doing that, you'll be joining your front and back pieces together. After that, you just cut out a straight piece of fabric that you'll be needing to pleat at the bottom part. So what I did is, at the middle of my straight fabric, I just went down by the 3 inches I added to the front and blend everything together.